We're going to work on upper extremity mobility in standing. And this is great to do if you feel like not getting on the ground, but you could also implement it in your day. And all you need is a little dish towel for some of the moves we're going to do. Before we get started, let's put the towel down and just do some shoulder rolls. So when I'm rolling my shoulder, I'm really trying to pick up the head of the arm bone, bring it back, and feel the movement of the scapula, the shoulder blades on the back. And I can let my head kind of go side to side. The ribs will naturally move, but I'm not jutting forward, holding the core steady. So I can really circulate the synovial fluid in the shoulder, but also free up some of the tissue from the neck down into the upper extremities. A few more like that. I would do these all day. Anytime you've been sitting, definitely do these. And then we're going to go to a wall. So we're using a towel and a wall. And if you don't have a wall, you can get next to a door. And we're just going to stand with our right side next to the wall, but not, able to hit the wall. So we'll start to swing the right arm forward and back. And keep the front ribs braced. So I'm just using my left hand to hold and have some bend in the knees. As best as you can, keep your skull back instead of having it forward, because that'll also influence the neck into the shoulder and down into this upper extremity. So let's do a few more of these. We're just getting some gliding of the fascia, which is the connective tissue, and of the fluid. The last time we're going to hold it back and turn the palm toward the wall and kind of walk into the wall until maybe your hand can get on the wall there. I'm going to keep my other hand on the ribs. And this already might be a big stretch on your chest. And then you'll gently turn a little bit away from the wall. So you should feel the right scapula get wedged more into the back. And you'll feel this stretch into the right chest wall. If that feels too much, have a softening in the elbow. And you don't have to add that turn. And then you can finally turn your head to the left to really pull across the neck, chest, and then into the upper arm tissue. And then breathe there. Again, I don't want to feel like I'm pushing the head of the arm bone forward, but instead feeling the right shoulder blade really lock into its position. And just take a few breaths there. I'm slowly turning the head only if that feels good. And then let's do the other side. So we're facing with our left hip to the wall and then swinging the left arm. So we're just preparing it. It's like priming the shoulder joint. And that includes the collarbones, the clavicle, holding the ribs steady. Usually going back is where people will feel it in extension. So just go as far as it feels good for you without rounding your shoulders. A few more like this. I really, really think doing this frequently during the day is the key to change the mobility in the upper extremities in particular. Last time, we'll hold it back. We're going to walk into the wall and flip so the palm is on the wall as best as possible and keep the knees bent and hold the front ribs in. And this already might be a big stretch, but if it feels like you're able to, you can just turn your pelvis slightly to the right. So you're holding your front ribs in and just adding on to that stretch. And then you can turn your head a little bit to the right as well. So always remember the neck, which is your cervical spine, and your ribs, the thoracic spine, influence the upper extremities. So we have to kind of address all of that together because there's so much shared tissue. So just think of a shirt. You're not a tank top shirt, it's a long sleeve shirt. And the parts of it come into the center and they all influence each other. One more breath here. Now we're going to stand against the wall with the knees bent. And whether your head gets back doesn't matter. You could always take your towel, roll it up, and put it behind your skull so you can get that feeling. Because what we do want to help always the posture. So if you need that, you can use a towel. So I'm going to get here. My knees are bent, ribs are in. Bring your hands to your breastbone, and you're just going to slide out under the collarbones. And this might feel like tender, it might feel like nothing, it might feel tight, but this is tissue that, again, if we're rounded during the day, I'm typing, it can get really compressed. So we're just kind of coaxing it to open up. And think of the clavicles, the collarbones, as little buttresses for your shoulders, and therefore down the chain into your arms. So rub that a few times, and this is something, again, doing at work, at home, just taking a few moments to do this, especially if you sit a lot. And then we'll bring the arms out. So imagine from the buttresses of the collarbones, spread the arms out on the wall and have some tone in your palm, meaning almost like you're holding a big grapefruit. And you're going to push the back of the hand into the wall, but not let the ribs come away. So I'm holding my shoulder blades, the scapula, on the wall. And this is just an active mobilization for this front line that goes from one palm across the chest to the other. And we'll just hold that there. Big breath in. Also getting a little leg work, just staying here. And then I'm going to keep the feeling of holding my shoulder blades on the wall as I bend the elbows. And then bring the back of the hands together so the fingers are now facing into the sternum. And then I'm going to bend the fingers so the knuckles are on the sternum. And then as much as I can, bring the elbows forward, so more of the knuckles. So stretching into the forearms, keeping the shoulder blades still on the wall as much as possible. And then you can let them broaden and maybe lift away from the wall as you move the elbows forward more, just a little bit to get some more stretch into the lower part of the upper extremity. The last thing you can do is lower the chin to really stretch the neck and this back fascia. So we open up the front fascia here. You can stay stretching. I'm just showing you front fascia here. And then we go into this and we open up the back fascia, including the neck. So the fascia, again, think of it as like sheets of connective tissue that are everywhere. And so if you are tight in one area, the tissue, like my shirt, if I'm tight here, it pulls another way. So we're trying to get all the different parts that affect the upper extremities. And then you can repeat that as many times as you want, but I'm just going to show it to you. We'll do it up, open up, have some tone in the palms, bring the back of the hands together, maybe bring the fingers to the sternum if you can handle that with the shoulder blades still on the wall, the knuckles, the elbows, and then you can let the shoulder blades widen away from the spine and the chin comes down. And breathe there. All right, now we're going to take the towel and use it for some mobility. We'll face the wall. I'm going to have my pinky side of my right hand on the towel. My knees are bent. I'm not going to lean into the wall, but slide the arm up and then bend the elbow. So it looks like this, up and then down. And as best as I can, I'm going to hold the ribs steady and the spine long. So just getting this feeling of the shoulder blade, this right shoulder blade. We use shoulder blade and scapula interchangeably. Scapula is the actual Latin name for it. Shoulder blade is the layman name. So we're sliding that up, sliding it up. And then we'll slide it up as far as we can. You can always use your left hand to help the shoulder blade up some more. And then start to lean into the wall without hanging into your ribs. So I'm just opening up the shoulder some more. So it looks like this from the side. I'm not letting the ribs go. I'm keeping the press of the pinky side into the wall as I stretch it. Big breath there. And again, use this other hand to help out, to clear some space, especially if you've ever had any kind of impingement or anything, that's really helpful. So now let's do the left fingers are on the towel. My knees are bent, spine is long. And I'm just, if you're wondering, I'm about a foot and a little bit more away from the wall, just enough that I have some space to slide up. So it's a little bit forward of pure flexion, which would be way up overhead, but it's getting the mechanics of that, sliding up. And then when we lean into it, we'll get into more shoulder flexion. Two more like that. Again, I can use my right hand to help the shoulder blade. And then I'm going to hold it up there and I can lean into it. Breathing here, I'm pushing the pinky side into the wall to keep the space in the shoulder. So using that hand to help also use the right hand on the front ribs like this. So I can lean in there, but I'm not leaning in the ribs. Now, we're going to do a little forearm action. And what it looks like on the wall is my hand is on the wall and it's going to be on a towel. And I'm trying to spin mostly my forearm first and then a little bit of the upper arm bone. But instead of turning from here, I'm really trying to do it in the forearm right here. There's 2 bones and just trying to spin all the way, palm up, and then the other way. So it looks like this. I'm going to put my hand on the towel and I'll go out to the side so you can see it. I'm going to spin all the way and then spin just back to that starting. So spinning all the way. And you're not out to the side. You're going to be straight forward, but I don't want my body to be in the way of showing you. And you can see the wrist is beneath the shoulder as I'm doing this. I'm spinning and spinning, trying to do it mostly, and I can see the forearm bones are turning, and that's what we want. And the last time we do it, we'll spin it, and we're going to hold it here. So this is our supination where the palm is up and some wrist extension. And then let's do it on the other side. So again, I'll do it out to the side a little bit, but you're going to do it right in front of you. I'm trying to not let the towel drip over me either so you can see. Okay, so I'm spinning the forearm and spinning. I have a little bit of just bend in the elbow, so it makes it a bit easier to spin. And just watching that spin, having as little spin up in here. So just isolating it beneath the elbow so we can get that good forearm spinning. One more time, spin it and hold it here and breathe there. So as I'm stretching across the forearm into the wrist. And that feels really lovely, okay? And then you can do some action. The other thing I'm going to show you is, hold on, we'll use the towel in a minute. Grab your, I'm going to mirror you, right hand to your left elbow, right above the elbow. Right beneath the elbow. The elbow is going to be bent, and I'm going to hold here as I spin. So this is another one you can just do at your desk. So I am feeling the forearm, especially that ulna, the pinky side, roll under my fingers. But I'm not making it happen to my shoulder. I'm really, truly making it happen. And then you can actually kind of go down the forearm like I'm doing here and give it also a little massaging. And you'll feel some maybe really dense tissue. Maybe you'll even feel some like crickling and crackling because the forearm muscles can get really rigid. They need to be able to allow this spinning action. Let's do it on the other side. The left hand grabs right beneath the right elbow. I'm just going to hold just a bit for some counter pressure and then start that same action here. This is really important for anybody who works with their hands, and that could be sitting at a desk on computers, and then I'll start going down the hand. That could be gardening. That could be art. I work with a lot of artists, musicians. A lot of musicians need this. So just going up and down with a little compression of the hand. Finally, we're going to use all this stuff and use the towel and do some overhead action. So we'll grab the towel and bring the arms up. Now, if you feel any kind of inward action and compression, then you're going to have to turn your thumbs up, which is going to feel a little awkward with the towel, to help clear the space, but it's fine. So whatever grip feels best for your shoulders, because we just want to shrug the scapula, the shoulder blades up and down without moving the ribs forward, and a light pull of the towel apart. So we're feeling action of stability in the arms, but actually getting the mobility in the shoulder at the scapula. And then we're going to hold the arms steady and bend just, I'm going to mirror you again. So I'm going to flip my palms so they're facing away. I'm going to bend just the left elbow. Now I'm just bending it, but not pulling on this top arm. I'm just going to let the gravity kind of bend my elbow down, and then this top arm can start to bend, and they can switch. So this arm can get less bent and more straight, but it's not going to straighten all the way. So I'm just getting a little bit of a opening for the back of that arm. And then both arms up overhead. We'll do the same thing. I start to bend the right elbow. That's leading the charge. And then with gravity, it's lifting this left arm higher. And then I can start to bend the left elbow, but not thrusting the ribs and not forcing anything that doesn't feel good. We're trying to create space through these mobilizations. And breathe here. So try and breathe into your back ribs. Since they're going to want to go forward, let's really try and breathe into the back ribs. Finally, I want to show you a little trick. If you're somebody that's have a droopy shoulder, meaning this shoulder is dropped and it's not at a 90-degree angle from the neck to the outer shoulder, it's lower. Taking a towel, balling it up and putting it underneath your armpit. And then, so you feel that head of the shoulder bone lift up. And then letting the arm just hang there. Not squeezing in, because there are nerves here and you might feel some numbness. We want to stay away from that as long as possible. Because what we're trying to do is train the brain to recognize, oh, this is a better position from the shoulder than down here. So we get a little towel to hold underneath. So it's bottom part of the arm, the head of the arm bone. And you can walk around like your kitchen and do some stuff. Again, it might feel nervy after a while because this is your brachial plexus. But feel this position, and then when you have it there for a little bit of time, anywhere from 2 minutes to 10 minutes, take the towel away and see if you can connect your brain to keep the shoulder at that height. And so what you're doing is wiring all of the muscles around the shoulder that give it support and not let it dangle. You're wiring them to kind of kick in just the right amount. So it shouldn't feel effortful. And some people have the opposite, where they're really shrugging up because there's so much tension here, and they'll just need to take it more from the neck end. So some of the stretches we've done where you're having your arm is up and over and you're releasing the neck, that's going to actually help because these muscles attach from your skull to your shoulder. I hope that helps you. The thing to do is notice where you are today, notice what might have been challenging, and come back again and again. Because especially at the shoulder, this is a mobile joint. We're all born with the ability to take a full circle, but boy, do we lose it because our modern day life isn't set up for us to move the shoulder. And then we lose the stabilizing muscles that allows the shoulder to move really well. And that can come down into the elbow and wrist. So often wrist and elbow issues are the result of shoulder in kind of out of being balanced. So we have to address the shoulder and then help out all these things too. All right, keep at it.